Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Is Rock and Roll, a show that features the stars of the music world. My name is Dennis Dion Nardone, and let me say thank you to the beautiful Mary for her introduction, and also to the staff of BronxNet, and also to the band, the Just Nuts Band. Today, my guests, very, very special guest. I love this lady. Her name is Beverly Bremers, and she had a big monster hit around 1972 called Don't Say You Don't Remember. It's a great, great song. We all sang it. We still sing it. Beautiful lyrics, great song. With that, let me say hello to Beverly Bremers. Beverly, good morning.
Hi, Dennis. How are you?
Very, very good. Good morning. I should say good afternoon. It's morning for me. But anyway,
Yeah.
great to see you, and thank you, and welcome to the show. And this is truly an honor to have you on the show. And of course, that big hit. We're going to talk about your song, but we're going to talk about your whole resume of your life. You've done it all: Broadway, movies, voiceovers. You did so much. I don't know really where to start, but let's start from, well, you're in Atlanta right now. You live in Georgia, right?
Yep.
With that, we have some ties to Westchester County. Why don't we start with that? You were born in Chicago, but how did you end up in Dobbs Ferry, Westchester County?
I don't know. My parents got various jobs. My father was in advertising, and so he was in Chicago at a radio station, and then we lived in St. Louis from the time I was 3 to 10, and then he got another job in New York. So that was how we ended up in Dobbs Ferry. And my mother was a writer, and she could pretty much live wherever. So I enjoyed my wonder years in Dobbs Ferry, New York. I went to Dobbs Ferry High School, and during that time is basically when I started singing. I'd been taking acting lessons back when I was 8 in St. Louis, so it was sort of already in my blood, and it just continued from there.
Beverly, you talk about Dobbs Ferry High School. Did you have that aspiration that you wanted to go on and be a performer, a singer, an actor? Did you feel it when you were that young?
Oh, I was already doing it professionally when I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
I had 2 records out on RCA,
Okay.
and I performed quite often at Palisades Amusement Park.
Oh, okay.
I was in a local talent show where I ended up on the Ted Mack show on my 13th birthday. So I was already doing commercials. You know, I would commute to New York City, which was a pretty quick train ride. And so I was already doing it all. By the time I graduated from high school, you know, I was kind of
So you were a Ted Mack Amateur Hour, which was in New York City, correct?
Actually, no, it was Westchester County.
Oh, that's where they did it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you performed in, it was like a contest type of show, one of the first of its kind, right?
Yes, it's like it's the American Idol of today, I suppose.
Right, yes,
More like America's Got Talent, I guess, because there were different kinds of acts on it.
All right, so you already had 2 songs out there, and you were on Ted Mack, and what else did you do from there? Now you graduated high school. Where did you go from there? Right to Broadway, or we got to our big hit song?
Right to Broadway, actually.
Okay.
I auditioned for Hair, and I got in.
Now you played Chrissy, I believe, right?
The first time. I was actually in it twice.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
First time I was in the tribe and was also Chrissy. And then I went in, I left that show to go into another show called The Me Nobody Knows. And it started off Broadway and ended up on Broadway. And that's, I had the pleasure of working with Irene Cara, who unfortunately passed away this week.
Right, okay.
She was in the original cast with me. And during that time is when I found Don't Say You Don't Remember, and I recorded Don't Say You Don't Remember. So I had, the record came out at the same time I was doing that show, and then they asked me back into Hair, where I played the role of Sheila.
Okay.
And that was where I remained. So I never actually toured because I was on
Right.
Broadway.
Okay. All right. So, okay, 1972, we record the song "Don't Say You Don't Remember." Just a great song, tremendous song. People of that era, like myself, love that song, and still love it. I play it on my radio show all the time. How did it come about? Did someone come up to you and say, "Hey, I have a great song for you," or tell us how that came about?
Well, I was recording the original cast album of The Me Nobody Knows, and there was a young guy who was with the publishing company who asked me out. And in the course of that, he said, you know, I see that you've already made several records. You should, you know, record again. And I said, I agree. So he said, well, let me ask some of the writers at Metro Media where he worked, and he came up with "Don't Say I Don't Remember." So what we did, which was very common back then, is that we made a master. He and I put in our own money to go into a studio, pay for the studio, musicians, etc., the arranger, and we recorded "Don't Say I Don't Remember" as a demo, or what was known as a master. And then we went around to various record companies to see if someone would buy it, and Scepter Records bought it.
Yep.
And there you go. That was how the record came out.
Okay, we are speaking to Beverly Bremer's big monster hit, 1972, "Don't Say You Don't Remember," and we're speaking about how that song came about. Now, when you first heard it or you first sang it, did you fall in love with it? Because everybody, as soon as you hear it, you just fall in love with the song. Did you fall in love with it and say, oh, this is going to be something special?
Not at first. I enjoyed singing it. We created it to sound like the old 60s girl groups, and you know, it had that sound. And so Helen Miller and Helen had written the song, and she also produced it. You know, that was the sound we were going for. So it wasn't really the kind of singing that I'd been doing otherwise. I was more of a rock and roll singer, but most of the shows I was in, I did the big ballads. So as we recorded the song, I did fall in love with it. You never know when you're recording if something's going to be a hit, though. All you can do is
sometimes you hear that, say, oh, that song's going to be a hit. Now, where did you record the song? Was it in New York City, Manhattan?
Yes.
Oh, Chicago.
Yeah.
It was in New York. Okay.
Oh, no. I had been in New York for many years.
Was it down in the old Brill building where a lot of music was introduced?
Well, the Brill building was just publishers.
Oh, okay.
It was a studio. Gosh, I don't remember the name of it now.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
But it was a recording studio in New York City.
Now, how many takes did it take to record that song?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
You know, most people don't realize this, but when you record something, you do multiple takes, and then you take pieces from each take and put them together, you know, the pieces that you like best.
Right.
And it gets edited together like that. Who remembers? I
Yes,
don't know.
yes. Well, all right. But speaking of Beverly Bremer, talking about the song of 1972, "Don't Say You Don't Remember," and I think we're going to show that song in another minute or so. But that song took you all over the country, correct? American Bandstand, different music shows of that era. Of course, there were plenty of them, but American Bandstand.
Yes.
I want to talk about that. Did you sing that song on American Bandstand, or did you sing another one?
No, I sang "Don't Say I Don't Remember." As a matter of fact, they had to kind of talk me into going because the show's done in Los Angeles, and I was still in The Me Nobody Knows at the time. But I did fly out to Los Angeles and record it. I had a blast. Dick Clark was everything that it says. A wonderful, wonderful guy. Very, very friendly, personable. He met with everybody before the show to have some snacks, some wine, and so by the time I did the show, it was great.
All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to go to the song, and with you singing it. And then we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little about Dick Clark, and we're going to talk more about your resume of what you did, because you did a few other things, voiceovers and teaching, things like that. So right now, let's go to Beverly Bremer's performing.
On the corner of the table, this is the only one that we've left. For you, for me, for always, forever was there for us, but for us it was far too fast. Don't say I'll remember.
All right, we are welcome back. I want to say welcome back to everyone. And my name is Dennis Dion Nardone. Always an honor to be here. And of course, to do this show, this is rock and roll. Very special guest today. Her name is Beverly Bremer. She has ties to Westchester County. She went to Dobbs Ferry High School. And of course, she was on Broadway. And, well, you know what? She had that big monster hit, Don't Say You Don't Remember, back in 1972. And it's a great song. I play it on my radio show all the time. Beverly, welcome back.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, I love the song and just love to play it. And so we were talking about American Bandstand. You were talking about Dick Clark, and we talked off the air. And you didn't know Dick Clark has ties to Westchester, as he's born and raised in Mount Vernon, in New Rochelle, right there next door to New Rochelle, and not too far from Dobbs Ferry.
No, I didn't know that.
And,
or if I did, I forgot.
Okay. Well, anyway, in fact, I think, he just had a birthday. All right. So now tell me, what other shows did you go on to sing that song? Do you remember?
Well, I did some local shows.
Yeah.
Most of them were later. One of the things that I had mentioned earlier was that because I was in theater, I didn't tour really, so I didn't really start to do shows live or TV or radio really until I left Hair later in 1972.
Now you went on to do Rocky Horror Show. How did you fall into that?
Well, I after I had another top 40 hit called We're Free, which is a story.
Now there was a little controversial to that song, correct?
Yes, there was. Yeah.
It was banned on some stations or different areas of the country.
It was banned on both coasts, but it was a big hit in the South, in the Midwest, and in Canada. Looking back at it now, it seems crazy, but it was. We're Free was basically about being in love and living together and not being married.
Oh,
and
okay,
for some reason, everybody,
I could. Well, at that time, things would have been different. Yeah.
It actually went country also, because we had a really nice acoustic intro to it, and the Bible Belt had no trouble with it. So it's going to be always one of those great mysteries as to why a lot of states didn't want to play it, because in retrospect, a couple like a year later, there were way more controversial songs out than that.
Right.
But at any rate, during that time, the record company just couldn't compete with the bigger companies. So I went on to record for Columbia, and I had a few records out there. And then during that time, I moved to Los Angeles. And I went to see the Rocky Horror Show. I had a friend who was in it. And then about, I don't know, a month later, the director called me and said, "Hey, we need a replacement. Would you like to do the Rocky Horror Show?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. I already saw it.
Interesting.
I'm familiar with it." So I went into to that show and had a blast.
Okay. Beverly Bremer's my guest today. Now, there's a show that's still on out in Las Vegas called Menopause. You have some ties to that as well.
Yes, I did that show. Menopause the Musical is a really fun show. It's all parody lyrics to well-known pop songs. It's about menopause. It's really about aging. Men like it too. And the show's all over the world. And I did the Los Angeles production for about a year. And a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Right.
So,
now, you had another song that you recorded, I think it was Make You Music or something to that nature?
Yeah. I'll Make You Music was the name of my album.
Oh, okay.
Which had both We're Free and Don't Say It I Remember on it. And it was also a single, and it made the top 100. It did pretty well.
Okay.
As I said, unfortunately, my record company was failing, so I didn't get as much promotion as it would have been made it probably a bigger hit.
Okay. Now, of course, once again, we're speaking to Beverly Bremers, and I'm going to keep repeating it, but she had a big monster hit in 1972. Don't Say You Don't Remember, but she had an acting career. She was on Broadway. Now, did you do, I read something about disco. You did something with disco? You got into that era? You got out of the hippie era and went to disco, and you did a little music with disco, a song or something?
Yes. I started songwriting.
Okay.
And during that time, I wrote a couple of songs that just happened to be disco songs. And so I had one called Morning Music that was recorded by quite a few artists and sort of became like, back then there were house hits where they would be big in the disco, not necessarily
right.
chart. And so that was a big one. And it also ended up in a movie called Hopscotch. It was also in there. And then, so during that time, though, my biggest songwriting credit was for Disney.
Okay.
I was asked to write a song for this new Mickey Mouse exercise album.
Okay.
They had just done
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was called Disco Mickey Mouse, and then this other one was called Mousercise. So I wrote the Mousercise song, and as it turned out, it became a Disney show on the Disney Channel, and it ran for 12 years.
Wow,
so
great. There's a lot more than just Don't Say You Don't Remember. Now, real quickly, do you have a website if somebody wants to learn more about Beverly Bremers?
Absolutely. It's BeverlyBremers.com. So it's BeverlyBremers is how my name is spelled. And you can also just Google my name. I'm pretty much all over the place.
Right.
And some other songwriting things, because I've also written 5 musicals that have been produced in California. So so that's like another one of my little careers. But the Disney one, of course, was very exciting. It did go platinum, so I have my gold record for Don't Say I Don't Remember, and I have my platinum for Mousercise.
Now, are you out there performing the oldie shows anywhere in the area of Georgia or anything? Anyone come knocking on your door and say, "We'd love to hear you sing that song on stage"? I'm sure here and there.
I'm looking into it now. Now that the pandemic is kind of wound down.
Right.
Live performing is starting to come up. So I don't have anything scheduled right now, but if anybody listening
Oh,
Wants to hire me,
yeah,
I
yeah.
am ready and raring to go.
Okay, all right. So you're still active, you're still busy, you're still looking to perform that great song. And well, again, you've done so much in your career that you have to be proud of. That's for sure. And you're continuing. And well, anyway, we can get in touch with you. Once again, the website.
Website is www.beverlybreemers.com.
There you go. It's simple as that. And okay, and you'll answer anybody emails you or tries to call on you to say hello. I'm sure they would love an autograph or something. But anyway,
Yes.
you were also teaching music, voiceovers,
Yeah.
voice lessons.
Yeah, I've been doing voiceovers since I was a teenager. And for anybody who doesn't know, voiceovers are basically anybody talking in a commercial or a cartoon. I've done some cartoons, video games, audiobooks, whatever. So I also teach it, and I teach singing as well and public speaking. And so there's a link to that also on my website. Also, I must mention that I have several CDs slash downloads of
Oh,
some
okay.
that I've done. One of the ones that was a lot of fun was I did a 60s one called Remembering the 60s. And so that's there as well
Okay.
as my other recordings that I've done over the years. But that's my most recent one. And
Yeah.
I hope to do some more.
Okay.
I love recording, I love performing, and I love teaching. So,
Okay.
you know, a little bit
With
of
that, Beverly Breemers, we're going to go to another one of your videos, watching you perform. So let's go to another video. Here she is, Beverly Breemers.
On the corner of the table, this is the only one that will last for you, for me, for always. Forever was made for us, but for us it went by too fast. Don't say you don't remember. Can I go on living? How can I go on living myself? When we meet, you always call me baby. How could it be that you forgot my name? Before you go, be honest. I belong to you, and believe that you felt the same. Don't say you don't remember. I'll never love anyone else. If you say you don't remember, how can I go on living myself? People never stay the same forever. Somebody always loves a little more. Tonight I need to love you. Together we'll find a way to make tomorrow worth living for. Don't say you don't remember. I'll
All right, welcome back. My name's Dennis Dion Nardone, and the name of the show is This is Rock and Roll. My very special guest, Beverly Breamers, a lovely lady, a voice of an angel, and back in 1972, great song, Don't Say You Don't Remember. Beverly, we have to wrap it up, and I want to say it's been such a delightful half hour, speaking with you, playing your music, and I just love your music. I love your song. I love you, and I thank you. And of course, you got the ties to Westchester County, so I want to say thank you so very much for being a part of the show here. This is Rock and Roll. Thank you, and keep rocking, and I'll keep playing your song on my radio shows.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care of yourself. Be well, and happy holidays to you. Thank you very much. Well, anyway, that concludes another edition of This is Rock and Roll. I thank the BronxNet staff. I thank Vic Sabatini, the producer and director of the show, our guest, Beverly Breamers. My name is Dennis Dion Nardone. Please listen to my radio show Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then Saturday and Sunday in the mornings, we play music for you. We play doo-wop, we play the oldies. And so we'd love to have you join me. So as we go out, I want to say God bless you. God bless the USA, and thank you for watching another edition of This is Rock and Roll.
I see what you're doing out there. I see those moves you're making. I'm here to let you know, baby, cause I'm the one. So my name is Vic, and I'm really slick, and I hold my realists, and I do them really quick. When I'm on the job, putting on the show, cause I'm looking mold out like another Rambo.
Hey Al, I got an idea.